Hello YouTube, how you doing? Ooh, this is some very bad lighting. Don't like this lighting at all. But I'm in the back of my store. I'm the only one here right now. And I am, might get a customer here and there. If I do, please just be patient. So, you know, if I go away for a minute, that's why. I might even take you guys with me to when I deal with a customer. And you can hear me give my little spiel and what I have and how I work with customers every day. But anyway, I was just playing around with this live thing. Really didn't have a subject matter, even though there is a subject that I was working on earlier today that probably don't want to talk about just yet. What was I talking about? What was I looking at? I know I saw some cardinals. I know I was talking about that. And what cardinal birds mean when you start seeing cardinals. And there are other birds that you may see that you have to like decide like, oh, what is that about? Wow, the lighting right here is horrible. Yeah, this is not good lighting. Yeah, this kind of sucks. Anyway, I'm just playing around with this YouTube Live. Not sure if I'm even gonna let this video be posted or not, because it depends on how it goes. So I'm really curious about, like, for some of you guys who watch my videos, what do you think of the videos that I produce? If you like them, if you don't like them. Well, I mean, I see the likes and stuff, but I know a lot of people watch them, but they never comment. So I figured this might be a way you guys can get some comments. Very bad connection. How do I have a bad connection? I got like some awesome Wi-Fi going on in here. Yeah. I mean, this is corporate level Wi-Fi in this joint. I don't even understand what they talking about. But, never know. I don't know. We're just working. But, I don't know. I'm about to end this thing. I don't like this lighting. This lighting is horrible. Yeah, we about to stop this nonsense. Yeah, this is interesting. So I didn't even know you could do a YouTube Live. That's interesting. So I need somebody to say something, because I didn't know you could even do a YouTube Live. So how does it, like, does it scroll or something, like when you say something, when you ask a question? So just say hey, or you know, something. This is all new. Don't pay no mind to all that stuff in the back. You know, I got extra stuff. What up? What's up, sir? How you doing, Mr. Bailey? All right, so okay, so it pops up like that and then fades out. All right, learning something new. Learning something new. I don't know. I might make this like something we do. Of course, when I'm the only one in my store and I'm working, that's not a good idea, because if a customer comes in, you got to go meet up to the customer and that sort of thing. But maybe I can schedule some time and start doing like a live show. Figure out what kind of show. Since, I mean, hey, Mr. Bailey, you the only one on here right now, for now, so you get all like carte blanche to say whatever you want to say. What kind of show, online live show would interest you? Because, you know, I mean, I talk about a lot of different stuff, whether it's business, personal development, alchemy, magic, sexual alchemy, religion, and the truth behind things. I mean, there's a lot of different subject matter that I can cover, because, you know, live my life that big nerd way in libraries and that sort of thing. So, interesting. But anyway, I do not like the lighting right here. It needs to be like another light to be like right here, like right in my face. But anyhow, it's funny, like, you do live and you don't have nothing to say. You know, if I'm getting ready to make a video, I got everything to say. I've been most interested in your opinions on how to transition from Christianity. You know, it's funny that you say that, because the other day I had quite a few people who, they started talking to me. I mean, like, customers came in like one right after another yesterday before I even made my video, and a lot of them were talking about the fact that what they could really use is some spiritual coaching of transitioning from Christianity into like spirituality, because it's such a hard thing to do. It is so difficult because you've been taught something your entire life, or however long in your life you was taught it, depending upon the degree that you was like pushed into it. With like, if you were going to church every Sunday, going to Sunday school, you there on Wednesday, you doing all this church, or whatever it was that you was doing, and you doing all of that, and then all of a sudden, you start waking up to stuff, and of course, that transition is incredibly difficult, especially if when your family is still in that situation, and they don't like the fact that you've transitioned. And I'm a transition because I don't like this life. I mean, 35 plus years, like 35 plus years in the Matrix. You're absolutely right. That's why I have an affinity. Sorry about that. That lighting was killing me. I have an affinity for other people who, they're just now transitioning, or because I was lucky. I transitioned when I was from 9 to 21. And, well, my transition began from 9 to 21. I was pretty solid right by the time I hit 21. But the girl that I married, high school sweetheart and everything, so she, what that button do? Oh, wow. So anyway, high school sweetheart and everything, so she knew how I felt and what I thought and how I believed, but of course we had like family members who, that's kind of funky. They had their certain ways about it, their thoughts about it, a lot of family members didn't like it. But, we just kind of kept it to ourselves for the most part. I did my thing. But one of the difficult things was when, I had a pastor, and he was like, I need you to help me run this church. I need you to, be a deacon with me. And I was like, man, I don't believe what you believe. Why you want me to do that? I only show up here, in support of my wife and my kids. Even though my kids are much more like me than Christian. But, so I had that kind of a battle to go through, but I was already secure in myself. By the time I was like 19, 20, I was, asking questions. But for a lot of people, it's that those family ties. That's the difficult part, is trying to break those family ties. And I've been the black sheep from my family and friends, but I'm over the hurt now. I'm just trying to feel the... Right. Now that's good. Now once you get past your family and friends, you get past that hurt. Now, I'm sure you've already been surrounding yourself with other people who are on the same vibrational pattern that you're on right now, so that you guys are vibing together. And then, which is very important, that you do start. It's not about being around those people so that you can start, get into another religion. It's about being around those people who are still growing in their development in spirituality. And it's not about having a leader or a pastor or anything like that. It's about you continuing on that journey to learn for yourself and study for yourself, to gain as much wisdom and information as you possibly can. Because if you don't, you'll find yourself getting caught up. Like, I had a young lady come by my store yesterday, and she invited me to go to their metaphysical church that's around the corner from where my store is. But once I started doing the research on it, But once I started doing the research on it, he said, yes, I was surprised at how many people who were silent. But I started doing the research on it, and I found out that it's a Christian metaphysical church. So I already know that they're still going to be biblically based, but they just have a more metaphysical outlook of it, which really kind of makes them Gnostic. But what you're finding is that there are a lot of people, like you said, now that you're speaking out, now that there's like social media and all that. See, when I was coming up, there was none of this social media, so I was alone on the island. But now, you got all this social media, you got different meetup groups, you got, people are getting organized in the whole metaphysical world. And this is going to be, if you look at ancient history, if you look at when Christianity kind of started, one of the reasons why Constantine was like, we got to get a grip on this thing, because what Vespasian and Titus and Josephus got started was this kind of a renaissance. They just kind of threw it out there, right? And you would have and this is similar to today. You have one dude on one corner teaching his version of Christianity, another dude teaching another version, but they would come to blows. They would fight each other, and the empire, Constantine had just put the empire back together after defeating Maxentius at the Moldavian Bridge, And but now the empire was being threatened again because you had these different factions of Christians who were fighting and killing each other over who is following the correct teachings, because there were like 5,000 different types of manuscripts out there, and different people followed different ones. You had the Coptic writings, the Nag Hammadi writing, the Dead Sea Scrolls. All these things were like in existence. You had testimonies from every disciple plus disciples who didn't even exist. You had testimonies by just people, period. And they were all just like fighting over this. So Constantine was basically like, look, we got to get this mess organized. So what you're seeing in the metaphysical world right now, in this age, as we transition in this age of Aquarius, is people who are competing over what the right information is. You know, how to guide people. One of the things, and I'm going to do a video about this more in depth one, is like the Black conscious community. There's a competition within the Black conscious community, and you got a lot of them who are straight racist. You know, like I don't subscribe to any racism whatsoever. But you got a lot of the Black conscious people who are racist as hell. You know, all white people, you know, they should be subjugated. They're, you know, black people were the original kings and queens, and I get that, I understand. But when you go back and look at the Sumerian text, they made kings and queens out of people all over the world in order to rule the people in that territory. They made kings and queens out of people in Peru, in Mexico, you know, the Aztecs. They made kings and queens in the Asian communities. They made kings and queens of all people all over the world when the Anunnaki stepped back and said, we can't be as involved as we've previously been. So we are all descendants of kings and queens, which doesn't mean that we should be able to put our foot on anybody. Anybody. The only time we should look at a person is when a person's character shows that they are racist or treating people unequally. And that's one of the things I can't stand about that the Black conscious community, where a lot of them are incredibly racist, and I don't like the fact that some black people, as they wake up, they will fall into that trap of racism and start to point at everybody else and say that, well, you know, yeah, I'm better than you because I have more melanin in my skin. So as we navigate these waters of becoming conscious and waking up to the information, to the real things that happen, and to the knowledge of the natural laws like the Hermetic laws and alchemy and things like that, we have to remember that no one is any better than the other person, because spirit has no color. You know, your essence, your spirit has no color whatsoever. So therefore, we can't be racist at any point. I mean, it's like an oxymoron to call yourself conscious and be racist at the same time. Doesn't work. It's kind of like when they were freeing the slave, the abolitionists, like, oh, well, we don't want this. Slavery is wrong because they're people and they're human, but at the same time, let them come marry your daughter and you got a problem. You know what I'm saying? It's like you have your limitation. But on your spiritual journey, just remember that it's really about your spirit becoming more divine. Like alchemy is, yes, it's that converting lead into gold and discovering immortality. But the main thing is about purifying your mind and your consciousness, so that your conscious goes from lead to gold. You cannot have a golden conscience if you believe that you're better than somebody else because of your skin tone or where your ancestors came from. You can't be, you know. But you want to get to that purified state where you say that we are all connected. We are all one. You know, there is no disconnect between us. That's how you open your third eye, is when you realize that we are all connected. Let's see, what did he say? Yes, I'm surprised at how many people who are being signed up. Oh, you already said that. I've been confused. Uh-oh, I lost it. Oh, there it is. Didn't know I could do that. Excuse me for some of you guys. This is my first time doing a YouTube live. So I've been confused by many of the different conscious communities differences. It made me hesitate about who to follow and look to for growth. How do I meditate versus praying? Okay. Right. And that's the confusing part. Like, who do you follow? Who do you follow? And I'm going to give you the big answer. Follow yourself. Follow yourself. Sure, get information from different people. As you are growing, get information from people. But being conscious is about you thinking for yourself. If somebody's saying something that's not right, don't take that. Don't take that. Now, you may take this part of it, but don't take this other part that they're saying. Take what you know is good. Take what you know benefits you. Be selfish in that. There is absolutely nothing wrong with you being selfish and saying that, all right, I listen to Ray Hagen. I like this, but I don't like that. I listen to Farrakhan, but I like this, but I don't like that. I was listening to Kevin Wesley. I like this, but I don't like that. You know, I'm listening to Infinite Waters. I like this, I don't like that. Assure the Star Goddess. I like this, but I don't like that. Cherry pick what you know is right for in your spirit. Now, not just what's right in your community or your environment, what's right in your spirit. That's what matters. What's right in your spirit. So be a leader of yourself. You know, you lead you first. Right now, as far as praying and meditating, I I was just having this discussion. That's how I've been doing things. Good job, Anthony. Like that. Prayer and meditating. A lot of people will say that prayer and meditations are the same thing. They're not. They're not the same thing at all. And then people will have their, well, you gotta meditate like this and pray like that. That is pretty much the same religious bull that's been put on people from other facets of for Christianity, Buddhism. I always want to say Buddhism, which is so wrong and incorrect, and I'm not trying to be insulting. It just comes out that way. And it comes out that way because of an inside joke from when I was in high school. So please forgive me anytime I say that. But people, you know, once something becomes something, everybody wants to, well, this is the right way. Look, I used to do the big prayer. I used to be the, oh Father who art in heaven, who lives above all things and guides us through all of our iniquities. I could roll into it, man. I used to do that. And then when I was meditating, I used to, and just hold that thing, right? Because that's what, I saw other people doing, and people saying, well, this is right. And then one dude said something that was interesting to me. He said, oh, the only true way of meditating is that you have to focus on having nothing in your mind. And I bought into that for like a half second. And then I realized, wait. Holding nothing in your mind? That's like master level kind of meditation? So that can't be like the first stage? Because that's what he was telling me, it's the first stage. And I was like, no, there's something about that. So I started realizing that all these people had this different method of meditation. Then I just went to what the root of it was. Meditation is just calming the body and focusing on rejuvenating the energy of the body and connecting with everything around you. The gentleman who taught Michael Jordan how to meditate, he taught him how to meditate in the midst of the game. So he's at the free throw line, meditating, soaking in everything, to then laser focus on what he's trying to accomplish at that moment. If you watch LeBron, sometimes he sits on the sideline and he meditates. If you meditate a lot, you can recognize it. I've seen like the Dalai Lama, he has his styles of meditating. Meditating is for you. If you want to sit cross-legged, sit cross-legged. If you want to stand up, stand up. I do a lot of walking meditation because I'm working a lot. But however, I'm the only one at work today, so if somebody comes in, I have to go take care of it because, man, you guys are going to go with me. But it's really about how you center yourself, center your energy, right? Now, there are certain things, practices, and exercises that can help you develop your style of favorite meditation, but it's really about you sitting there. I recommend Eckhart Tolle's new book, A New Earth. I haven't read that one, but I have read some books with Eckhart Tolle. I've actually seen him speak. Actually, I hadn't read his book. I've seen him speak. So let me not say that wrong. But just when meditation really started working for me is when I threw out most of the stuff. I did focus on opening my chakra meditation. Doing meditation to open your chakras by breathing into those vortexes, those spiraling circles of energy, and then letting that energy flow up, and then recognizing that I'm connected to the earth, and using my mental imagery to connect myself. So that opened the door for my meditations. And then I would test out other meditations, like Dr. Pilar talks about the Ah meditation, and he then taught Wayne Dyer the Ah meditation. So I would do those, and then I started doing other guided meditations until I just really got comfortable and confident in my ability to sit there and focus. what's her name? Abraham Hicks. She talks about the 17 seconds. Like try to focus on one thing for 17 seconds. And then when you do it for 17, double that number and do it for 34 seconds. It sounds easy, but it's not. It's actually difficult to keep one focus, one thought, one thought in your mind for 17 seconds. Try it. Try it. It is not the easiest thing to do. So, but he has, she teaches that. So there are different ways. And then there's belong to this group. I still communicate, but I don't really do a lot. But solar rejuvenation, they have sun meditations. So I would sit out in the sun and focus on receiving that solar energy, getting that vitamin D, filling up my body with solar energy, because we're all solar batteries in a sense. Everything on the planet feeds on solar energy. So, I was doing those type of meditations. So there are tons of meditation. And then, in that one, there are certain other things that they talk about doing. And I've seen people who can do it and I've seen people who can't. Like in the solar rejuvenation, there's meditations to help you. I was told to walk barefoot in soil and hug a tree. Now, walking barefoot in soil, Wayne Dyer had this saying. He said that if you wore shoes everywhere, then the entire earth would feel like leather. Right? And I love the fact that he said that. I do think you need to spend some time walking around barefoot. I think it helps you to connect to the earth, where you can feel the earth. The soles of your feet. I used to when I owned a gym, I had a client. She was a reflexologist, and she used to do this little stuff with your foot. I mean, if you had some issues, she can mess around with pressure points on your foot, and it will take care of a lot of your issues. And I've known people who did the onion while you sleep thing and all that. So yeah, walk around. It is not a bad idea, and if you're focused on connecting with the earth, then walking barefoot is a good way to do it. You can lie down in the grass, lie down in nature, walk, go on a trail, touch the leaves and the trees, and there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. But is it the only way? No, it's not the only way. But I'm not gonna lie to you. I do it sometimes. I don't hug the tree, but I'll go touch a tree. I'll touch a root, I'll touch a leaf or a branch, because I want to, I know that trees has these massive root systems that connect into the earth. And so, I would do that sometimes. I'll go and touch a tree. Sometimes I live in Atlanta, so I go to Stone Mountain and I'll, get to the top and just touch the rock, because I know that granite goes deep into the earth, and I want to feel, and granite conducts energy very well. It holds heat very well. So I want to feel that energy of the earth, and I would hold on to that rock while I meditate. And one time I saw there was a crew of women up there, and black women up there meditating. That was one of the first time I seen black people meditating. I was like, oh, what? I knew after 2012 a lot of these people were going to start coming out, but I'm seeing it more and more nowadays, and especially meditating is huge. But just figure out your own pathway, man. Try some things, see what feels right to you. If it feels right to you, then do it. I just did a video that posted earlier today, and that was the main thing, is like, do what makes you happy. If you're doing what makes you happy, then it's going to help you to connect better with the earth, connect better with the universe, help you to get your chakras spinning. It's not about moving them around as much as getting them spinning correctly. Or some of them you may need to shut down. If you're just not coming out of a bad relationship, you may need to slow this cycle of your heart chakra a little bit, because you don't want to be exposed just yet. So slow that thing down a little bit. If you need to go through a period of silence, then slow that chakra down. So it's really just finding your pathway that works for you when it comes to meditating. Because tonight, when I go home and I get ready to meditate, depending upon the phases of the moon, I do different types of meditation, different parts of the house, the apartment that I live in. Because I don't ever want to buy a house again. I'll sit in different parts of my apartment to meditate. And I make sure that my apartment faces east, and my patio door is south, and the back bedrooms are west. That way the phases of the sun and the moon are always in the presence of my apartment where I live. So it's little things like that that I make sure of for my purpose of meditations. Because if it was facing in different directions, then it kind of messes up the energy flow. But that's That I get into that kind of stuff. You don't have to get into that. It really it matters to me because I am very astrological, but it doesn't have to matter to you as much. There are certain astrological things that affect you, that could affect you if you allow it, but it doesn't have to. And you don't have to do everything that somebody else does. If you was doing that, man, you'd be doing so much stuff, it'd be crazy. Like, you would have no time for nothing because that's all you would be doing. You'd be meditating all day, you'd be casting spells, you'd be removing spells, you'd be studying, you'd be making sigils. Man, you just be doing everything. You'd be building altars, you'd be just everything. You'd be doing too much. You wouldn't have time to function throughout your day because it's just too much stuff. You'd be burning candles, incense, just too much. You'd be trying to keep up with what the Aztecs did and what the Egyptians did and what the Greeks did and what the Chinese did and what the Aboriginals did. And you'd be so mixed up and lost. Just come down to center. Come down to center. Understand, like, I had a gentleman contact me the other day and he said, I need to do a magic spell to help my business grow. And I told him, I said, well, the first thing I asked him, I was like, okay, so what is your plan? And he was like, what do you mean, what is my plan? I was like, why would I give you a magic spell? To help your business grow. Have you go through the process of doing a ritual to help your business grow. But you have no plan of action to follow up your business because you can do all the magic spells you want to do. But cause and effect is the law that you cannot break. If you do nothing, you don't change anything, you don't have marketing that's going out, you don't market the right way to get people's attention, that sort of thing, you can do all the magic spells you want. You can make sigils, you can light some candles, incense, meditate, pray all day long. Nothing's going to happen. Cause and effect is still a law that governs beyond anything. There's no such thing as luck. It's all cause and effect. So I told him that. And he was dissatisfied. But he gonna be all right. He'll be all right because he's gonna understand that you just can't sit there and say customers are coming, customers are coming, customers are coming. You got to put something into it. That's like praying for magic moments in religion. Exactly, and that's what people do. Oh man, there was a I told this one story with the person with their mortgage, and how they was like, they were hurting with their mortgage, and then God gave them a miracle because they prayed and prayed that they could make this payment, and then they got a check in the mail because the mortgage company had paid 2 times on the insurance and 2 times on the tax of 3 years earlier. And God just came in with the miracle on time. And I was like, that is not a miracle. I remember sitting there thinking, that's not a miracle. That's you not paying attention to your paperwork when it came in. You didn't see your tax paperwork and look at it and say, whoa, why did they pay my taxes twice? Why did they pay my insurance twice? Why is there 2 lines of this on my 1098? And then I did go up to them and I told them, I said, look, I need y'all to understand this. Right now, I know you think that you got a miracle, and that's cool. I wasn't trying to take it away from them. But I said, but because y'all, I asked them, I said, did y'all claim all of that on your 1098 3 years ago? And they was like, well, yeah. I said, now you're at the IRS may not come back, but that paperwork that they submitted to show you that they overpaid on your taxes is going to go to the IRS. They are within their right to do an audit on that aspect of your taxes for that year. So don't spend all the money because you might have to pay some of it back. Now, I don't know if they ever had to pay some of it back, but fact of the matter is, everything is a cause and effect. I mean, I'm not telling you not to pray. I'm not telling you not to meditate. You do, because there are certain things that are going on the spiritual planes that you may need to handle some business with. And then, of course, you need to get yourself re-energized and charged up to go out and do what's necessary to make life happen for you. But, so do your prayers, do your meditation, but none of that happens without your work. I mean, even though I'm not Christian at all, not even slightly, I still look at the wisdom of the book. The book still got some wisdom in it, and it clearly says, prayer without works is dead. All that stuff is worthless. You got to put some feet behind it. So you can't say, people who are in there and they praying. There was a now. Do I believe in energy? Yeah, I believe in energy. Energy can change some things. There's a video where these Chinese, it's a Chinese hospital, it's a metaphysical Chinese hospital, and all they did was chant, "I'm in the presence of a healthy woman. I'm in the presence of a healthy woman." Now these people took I think like a month to get themselves charged up and ready for that, to get their belief so strong that they was in the presence of a healthy woman. These 4 or 5 people came in, the ladies in there, everybody's chanting, "I'm in the presence of a healthy woman." That tumor just starts shrinking, 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 shrinking till it was gone. I do believe energy happens and can work that way. There was a lady and her husband. I love them to death. I love them to life. I don't like saying to death. Love them to life. Her husband had that's what I said too. I was like, wow. But let me tell you this one. Her husband had some kind of bacterial virus kind of thing that usually people die from it. I mean, it's one of them things that it hit like sudden. I don't know what the name of it was, but it hit so sudden that he was in the hospital. I didn't even know he was in the hospital. But me and her, we've had conversations, but not too deep because I know how Christianized she was, and I didn't want to, disturb her stuff. But what I do know is that she did apply something that I had told her once before. I told her once before, I said, the reason why people die in the hospital is because most of the people who come into that room have already decided the person is dead. They've already decided that person is dead. This might need to be a whole video by itself. I think it will be. But they already decided the person was dead. And she commanded that no one could come into her husband's room unless they already believed that he was healed. If they had any doubt, there was no sorrow. Family members, she wouldn't let family members come in unless they understood and wholly believed that he was healed already. Like, there were ministers who wanted to come in there and say, "We just want to come in and we just want to pray for him." And she was like, "Not with that attitude." With that, and this is what she's telling to her way of telling. She was telling people, not with that attitude. You are not coming in here with that attitude. Your energy is off. You don't have enough belief that my husband is going to be all right and that he's already healed. And 5 days later, that dude walked out of that hospital. Did he have some minor issues? Yeah, he had a couple of issues, but he walked out of that hospital. And I 100% believe that he walked out because of the energy. And one of the reasons why she didn't tell the whole church, because it's like 500 members to this church, the reason why she didn't tell the whole church because she knew that most of those people was going to be in sorrow and sad and already putting this man in the grave because he was one of the elders of that church. They were already putting him in the grave, and she was like, hell no. He is not going to the grave. She wasn't having it. So he pulled through, still alive to this day. That was... what year is this? This is 2017. So that was maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Say about 4 or 5 years ago. He's still alive right now, kicking. And yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I was loving it too, dude. Because I was like, when she told me that, and then I will admit, she did come to me and give me a big old hug. Didn't say a word, but just gave me a big old hug, which kind of made me feel like, okay, she recognized, even though me and her had some disagreements on religion, she recognized the power, the energy, the power of energy and the mindset of people. So if you're doing a business or you trying to accomplish anything, you want to have something in your life, you can't have negative people. You can't have people whose mindset goes against what you're trying to do. I taught a couple of friends of mine, like they used to go around, and you know how women are. And I hate to say, I'm putting it on you women. You know how women are. Oh, we're going to touch and agree. We're going to touch and agree. And I used to watch them, and they used to be like, we're going to, the church that they were going to, their pastor said he was doing this message, and he told all the women, because when they came home, and I saw two of my friends, they cleaning their house. I'm like, God, dog, I ain't seen these jokers clean their house in a long time. But they cleaning them houses, right? And I'm like, all right, what's going on? They was like, well, we was at church today, and the pastor said, he told the women, go home and clean your house and get it ready for your husband. And we touching and agreeing that thing that we gon' and I was like, is that right? I said, so you gonna get your husband? She's like, yeah. And then after like a week, I'm some of the other women who was there, They all got their doubts and they got their little negative things they saying. And I was like, you know what? And this is when I told them, I said, y'all got to stop touching and agreeing with everybody. Because everybody don't agree. They may say it in your face, but they don't agree. So you got to stop touching and agree with every person, or just because they smiling about it, or you're emotional and you're caught up into a part of church or whatever, or even at a seminar or something like that. Because I see people at these business seminars like, oh, we're going to touch and agree that we all finna go out here and make all this money. And ain't none of y'all doing the work. You ain't doing none of the work. You just saying stuff. You just talking. But you got that seed of doubt in the back of your mind. That seed of doubt in the back of your mind that's saying that, well, yeah, I know we gonna go out here, but we ain't gonna. It's so hard to find anybody, and people don't want to buy into this, and people don't want to do that, and you got all the negative reasons why it's not going to succeed, but yet you in people's face will say, I touched and agree. But you're so negative. Guess what? Nothing's going to happen, because that negative thought has more power because it's emotionalized. You see, that emotionalized negative thought is more powerful than your so-called positive words that you speak out of your mouth. People, they say that life and death is in the tongue, right? True. But what is powering that tongue? If your pineal gland is dead, if it's calcified, if the doubt, if you got doubt in your heart about whatever it is you want to achieve, if you say that, oh, my relationship is failing, but my relationship is gonna be great. We're gonna make it, but you got all this doubt in your heart, and every time you turn around, you got this doubt, then it's going to fail. I've been real sensitive to other people aura in the whole life, and the power of energy, negative energy comes. That's right, and you should. If you can feel other people's energy, that's an awesome thing, because that'll help you if you listen to it. You gotta listen to it. You listen to that. When you know you shouldn't deal with people, you know you shouldn't deal with what they talking about or what they're saying. You know that they don't have your best interest. You gotta run, man. You gotta get away from them people. I have 2 signs on my store. When you come to the first door, it says this is a negative thought, words, action zone. Only good energy here, past this point. I got one on the front door, and I got one on the side door. And I got one on the little thing that holds all the chocolate treats. Then I got stones above the door. People are negative as all get out. And if you feel that, walk away from them. Don't stand there and still be a part of it, because they will destroy what you're trying to accomplish. And what the saying, like if you're around 5 broke people, you about to be the 6th one, or 9 broke people, you about to be the 10th. If you're around 5 negative people, you're about to be the 6th negative person. If you're around 9, you're about to be 10. It doesn't matter what the number is. It just basically, if you're around a bunch of negative people, that's what you're about to come. So you got to change your circle. And if you can feel that aura, that energy, change your circle. Now, you might want to look into Reiki. If you can feel people's aura, there might be something about you that will allow you to quickly advance in becoming, mastering Reiki, which is that ability to feel people's aura and rechannel and resync it. I know people who talk about it, but I'm not one of them. Okay, I'm a Scorpio, and I can feel out how people are and the way they act. Cool. Now I'm not. I'm like, oh, so both y'all Scorpios. Oh hell, I got myself into. But and see, like, I'm borderline. I'm like my solar zodiac is Libra, but my lunar zodiac is Virgo. All right. Yeah, but my lunar is Virgo. So but I'm like borderline. I'm October 15th. My mom's birthday is a week after mine, exactly 7 days later, and she's a Scorpio, right? And I, just on feeling a person, will misread them in a heartbeat. This is why. Now, what I did do, I didn't take that as a weakness. I said, okay, since that's not my forte, what I need to do is learn how to listen to people and understand inflections of voice, understand body language. See that. That's why when I do coaching sessions, I don't do over the phone. I got to see your face. I need to see your body language. I need to see where your eyes go, how your mouth move, how your lips move, what your eyebrows do, because, you can tell some things, how you tilt your head, which direction you're tilting your head and that sort of thing, so that I can understand where a person really is. I wish I had that gift. Yeah, even from a young age, I could also tell who I could move with and who I could. Yeah, see, I couldn't. See, Wes, you got something on me, bro. I end up trusting all these people over and over again just to get done dirty and done wrong or misunderstand, especially with women. Horrible at reading women as far as their attraction towards me. I've been put in so many situations where it's like, I think this girl like me, I think she like me, I'm trying to spend all this time, I'm trying to get all close to her, and next thing I know, man, she like, I don't like you. And I just like, oh, damn. It's embarrassing, right? Because I put yourself out there. So I had to learn body language. I had to learn how to listen to a person and understand their voices and things like that. So that's cool. If you can feel that, then, you got to be able to use that to your benefit, to make it work for you. You know what I'm saying? Because you better than me on that one. Now, let me change. I'm taking the microphone off. I hope it didn't mess up the volume. Y'all finna take a walk with me. We're gonna walk and talk. I gotta close this story down. But, I wish I could feel people that easily, but it takes me, talking to them, getting to know them. I do with my coaching. That's why with my coaching program, I cheat. I have like a coaching evaluation program that I send people that I make them take. That way I can know what it is more about them as a person just by being able to evaluate their personality. So it helps me coach them better. Oh, by the way, this is my store. It's 10 o'clock. We're closed. It's a slow last hour. I didn't want to do this at first because usually during this hour I get customers running in at the last second. See that Falcons flag? See that Falcons? That's how we rep. But yeah, so we now if you can feel other people's energy, really focus on understanding how to feel your own energy. For some reason all of that came naturally, but I kind of stopped getting because of the Christian thing. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate the compliment. Very nice for my store. And here's the funny thing about that, right? So you used to be able to feel people's energy, right? And then you get caught up into Christianity, which then tells you that you shouldn't be doing it. Now, here's the thing about that. If you look at the story, there's a story in the Bible. Oh, snap. Uh-oh. Woo. Hope I ain't cracked my face. Good, didn't. That was a long fall. Wait a minute, let me turn this thing around. How do I do it? Oh, there we go. Ooh, man. Man. Wait a minute. Why does this thing keep messing up? Woo. Phone fell out the tripod. Thankfully it didn't crack. But yeah, so what you got? You got this story in the Bible, right? Where you have, remember the story with the woman of the issue of blood? So this woman is filling on Jesus' cloak, right? Yeah, so I lost what you just said right there. So you got the story of the woman with the issue of blood. Now you talk about the church thing. So what happens in that story? He walking through the crowd. He feels somebody pulling on his cloak. And what did he say? He said, I felt the power go out of me, right? So if he felt the power go out of him, he felt energy go out of him. That is in their Bible. That is in the Christian Bible that you was reading. But now they're telling you that you shouldn't deal with energy. Isn't that what the story telling you? That he was dealing with energy at that point because he felt it. And then when he had to go away to pray and he told them jokers don't go to sleep, they were talking about energy. He was like he had to go recharge. You know, and the rest of them jokers fell asleep when they weren't supposed to. So it's all the same thing. It's still about energy. And then, yeah, thanks. Good. So that story, you know, it's like they know the magic and the energy and the talks about, and they know all of that is in there. But what they want to do is take that away from the regular person who is going to church, because they don't want you to know that. Because if you know that, then you know that you don't need them. You don't need the church then. You don't need the priest, and you don't need to go to confessional, and you don't need the pastor. You don't need anybody to interpret it for you and all that kind of BS, because you can do it on your own, because the energy, the information was right there with you from day one. So, but they tell you not to play with it. That is something evil. That is, you know, you shouldn't talk about energy. You can't. You're a filthy rag and all this other BS to try to make you fearful of the very thing that's in those books that they want you. Right. Everything is evil if it's knowledge. Because think about it. The whole thing is about keeping you ignorant. You are supposed to walk in blind obedience. You are not supposed to have your own mindset. You are not supposed to think. Because the moment you start thinking, then that is when they know they will lose control of you. The moment you start thinking for yourself and start recognizing that there's no reason for you to live in fear, that there's no reason for you to do things that are outside of your natural instincts to do, because you are a part of nature, that they want to take all those things away from you that will give you the power to stand on your own 2 feet. Think about the story of Adam and Eve, right? Adam and Eve in the garden. They weren't idiots. I mean, he named all the animals. They tended to the gardens. They knew how to work, right? But they were supposed to just be obedient, blind obedience. Now, many people would say, "Oh, no, they were going to learn, but they was going to learn at God's pace and all this kind of stuff." No, let me tell you what Adam and Eve in the garden sounds like to me. They sound like slavery. See, when our ancestors came over here as slaves, we was just supposed to stay on the farm, do the work, intelligent enough to do the work, pull them tobacco leaves, pick that cotton, clean the house, do all that kind of stuff. But to gain knowledge was the forbidden fruit on those tobacco fields. Plus, messing with the little white lady, that was forbidden fruit too. But to gain knowledge was the forbidden fruit. So all of a sudden in this garden, for Adam and Eve to gain knowledge, because it was the tree of knowledge, was forbidden fruit. So basically, to me, Adam and Eve were slaves. Right, knowledge is power, and if you got the knowledge, then you're taking away the power from those who are your master, those who are supposed to be, you know, taking care of you, but instead they're oppressing you. So they didn't want you to have knowledge, and they give you a book that teaches you to not have knowledge, to remain stupid, to remain ignorant, to have blind obedience. Think about it. What started the Protestant Reformation? Was it the fact that people the spirit start dwelling over people? No. It was the fact that Martin Luther went and read the book in private by himself illegally. He was a priest, but he wasn't allowed to read the book. But he went and read the book illegally, recognized that what they were teaching, what the Vatican was teaching, was not what was in the book, and then they wanted to kill that man for that. Do you think we have free will? I say no if you call yourself a Christian. Well, first, I don't call myself a Christian because I'm not. But I believe we do have free will. I don't think that we are just, you know, following a path that's already been set for us. I think we have free will to make the decision to go. Like right now, I can make the decision to leave here and shut this thing, you know, leave. Or I can make the decision to stay for a few minutes. Nobody's going to determine whether or not I do that other than me. And if you're a Christian, you should believe in free will to an extent. And this is the extent. Did I just do a video about this? Yeah, it was part of a video that I just did, where I talked about how Pharaoh, his free will was taken from him. How the king of Heshbon, his free will taken from him. So, according to the Christian Bible, you have free will, but at times God takes it away from you so that he can kill a whole bunch of people. Pretty much. I mean, that's pretty much how those stories go. He took the free will so a whole bunch of people can get killed and justify the killing. Really, I think it's just them writing a story to justify their killing a whole bunch of folks. But the Egyptian part of Moses, that never happened. So we're not even going to worry about that one because I've been to Egypt. There's not one ruin in Egypt that show Hebrew slaves building nothing. It shows a bunch of paid people building stuff, but there's nothing about Hebrew slaves in Egypt. The only thing that has Hebrew slaves is the Bible, is the Torah. That's the only thing that got something about some Hebrew slaves. So I'm not willing to take one. Yes, there's zero. Yeah, there ain't none. There's zero. I mean, I've been all over that place. Karnak, Cairo, places that I can't even say the name. I'm gonna be real honest, but I've never really tell people. But one time I was in school and my friend literally told me, man, I'm gonna have to learn how to read faster. How do I make that come back up? Urgh. I know there's a way. I'm sorry for making a bunch of noise. Can you say that one more time? Can you post that one more time? Sorry. I know I'm asking a lot. I made it happen one time where everything popped back up. I don't know what I did though. But there's nothing in Egypt that shows that there were slaves. Oh, there it is. Told me something, but when I told her what she told me, she said I never touch the screen. I did. I'm touching it. See me touching this screen. Oh, whoa, I did something. Ha! There it is. I was in school and my friend literally told me something, but when I told her what she told me, she said I never told her. Well, so she lied. Right. And people lie all the time just to get their way, just to get what they want. Yeah, because people are selfish as hell. You know, they are concerned more about their best interest, what's right for them, right? And people start calling me a purple child. What, are they saying that you're indigo? They start calling you an indigo child? Like, I don't know a lot about indigo, people who are the indigo children. I don't really know a whole lot about that. That is something that I've heard the term a lot. I've heard people talk about it, but I haven't myself researched what indigo children are. I'm thinking that it's people who have more psychic connection or something like that. I'm not quite sure. It just hasn't been something that I've really taken the time to research. But there's this thing called Google, and even though the lighting is horrible right here, this is where my laptop is. I kind of like this this YouTube Live. I just wish it wasn't, Indigo children. What are indigo children? According to pseudoscientific New Age concepts, are children who are believed to possess special, unusual, and sometimes supernatural traits and abilities. They are sometimes referred to as crystal children or star children. Okay. All right. So people have, all right, so indigo children, that's pretty cool. Let me say, you've been told that too, Ryan? Cool. Do you have coursework, coach? Yeah, I do. I do have coursework, but the way I do it is a little bit different because I base what courses people are going to be involved in based on their needs and what they like and their needs and what they really are, or their definiteness of purpose is, so that I can narrow it down to just them. But so I do have coursework, and you say people started. Okay, I like this touch. I touched it. Okay, So I got a touch screen in a certain spot because people started running. Indigos break down things like religion. I guess that'll make me an indigo then, huh? Because I've been breaking this thing down since I was like 9. But and like you, people didn't run from me. People wanted to let me know I was the devil. That's what they wanted to do with me. They was like, he the devil. He evil. He possessed. Or he got some demon. Why is that thing? That is weird. My phone is tripping. It's like, can y'all see my phone like zooming in and out, in and out? Because that's what it's doing to me. But I had people actually more or less telling me that I was evil. Why is it doing that? That is weird. Hold on, let me try this. I don't know. Maybe that's that negative RH blood. I'm sorry, I ain't mean to put y'all on the wall. I don't know what's going on with my crazy phone. I don't know, I dropped the phone and now it's acting crazy. So maybe that RH blood is, I don't have RH blood, RH negative blood. I'm just making a joke about that one. But maybe, I don't know. Sorry about, good gosh, what is this thing? Okay, I don't know what my phone is doing. Oh man, I dropped it. I'm gonna say that this is Wes's fault. We're gonna blame Wes for my phone acting crazy. How about that? What the world? I have no idea what is going on with this phone. Why it is jumping like back. Do I practice meditation? Yeah, actually, I meditate. Most of the time, I meditate twice a day, Ryan. When I found you online, I couldn't stop listening. I'm glad I listened to you, lower vibration guys. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that compliment. My phone is being very sensitive to the touch. Like I see it like doing stuff. Yeah, I meditate like twice a day in most of the times. Put this back on the tripod. I meditate like twice a day most of the time. When I get up in the morning, I go to the gym, I work out, I come back home. So I do like half meditations while I'm at the gym. And then when I'm at home, I meditate before I start my day and before I start working. Some days while I'm at work, I might, be back there, meditating. Or doing what's called, if I got customers who are really then I'll do what's called walking meditations, where I'm chanting under my breath, or while I'm serving customers. And of course, when I go home at night, after I cleanse my body, then I meditate some more. And sometimes I'll do those meditations at night to a cephalagios, because I sleep to a cephalagio beat as well. The cephalagios really help you sleep well. And like last night, I slept to a throat chakra cephalagio, which was interesting because the dreams that I had with that cephalagio throat chakra, I was speaking. I was standing, and there was a big horde of people that filled up like a huge stadium, and I was speaking. Now I don't know if that's because I know that's one of my goals in life, is to spend my life traveling around the world teaching, but that's what the dream. And I was listening to a throat chakra cephalagio. Now when I meditate, it depends on what type of meditation I'm doing. I might have a binaural beat playing, and if you're gonna do a binaural beats, then either have some headphones or have some really, really, really good speakers. Phone speakers generally aren't good enough for binaural beats, so that you can get binaural beats. You have one tone going in one ear and another tone going into another ear, and when they hit, they are creating a new tone inside your mind. So I'll listen to binaural beats sometimes when I'm meditating. I got injured in the military, so I have like some severe ankle pains from the surgery that they did. Well, it's not as severe as it used to be, but because I've done a lot of healing practices and been working on healing, helping my body to heal. But so I'll do certain meditations designed to help your body's healing properties. But I know some of the bones didn't set right, so and I'm not willing to go get them broken again in order for them to set right. I mean, there's frequency, there's energy, and there's all these things, but there's also physics. And if your bones don't sit right, it's going to be pain. Like this left wrist doesn't bend properly because the bone never set right. The bones, as per. You like the Tibetan singing bowls? You know what? I've meditated to those. I've never slept to those. I might try that tonight. I might do this because I sleep to tones every night. So I might try that one. No, now I will tell you this. There are 4 members of my family who all had sleep apnea. I had them sleep to cephalagios and binaural beats, and none of them have that anymore. I had a dream where my spirit guide asked me what I wanted to understand and said natural consciousness. And then she took me to the chamber and all right, cool. Now, and the thing about it, you got to be attentive to those dreams. Now, one of the things I'm going to say this to you guys. I don't really say this that often, not out loud. You've never heard a video of me really saying this, but I do a lot of dream interpretations with people. Very few, only people I know very well know of that. That I do dream interpretations. I found that as a gift of mine very early in my life, being able to interpret dreams. But I don't tell a lot of people that one. Mainly because when I was a kid, of course, I was called all kinds of names. You little demon. You little sorcerer, for being able to interpret people's dreams. But then I used to be like, wait. Didn't Daniel interpret dreams? Didn't, Joseph interpret dreams in the Technicolor coat? Didn't all these jokers interpret dreams? How am I wrong for interpreting dreams, but they interpreted dreams? So, but dream interpretation is very... Now, this is why you should keep a dream. If you dream a lot, keep a dream journal. Because... Oh, wow, there's like purple. I think I did crack my screen. Keep a dream journal, because a dream journal... And you got to write as soon as you get up. Like, you can't... If your feet hit the floor, then you're probably going to forget the majority of the dream. So... Keep that dream journal. Write down every aspect of your dreams, right? Yeah, I mean, some vivid dreams. A lucid dream, I have a lot of lucid dreams because I want my dreams to go the way I want them to go. I'm not controlling, but I just want them to go the way I want them to go. And that's probably why I do dream a lot, because I meditate, multiple times a day. And I try to keep my pineal gland, pumping and flowing. So it releases all the fluids that it's supposed to. You found 432 megahertz for healing. Exactly. 432, that's the megahertz that the earth vibrates at in order to, heal itself, is 432. 528 is also another good one if you're looking to heal aspects of your body. And I honestly know that if I hadn't been sleeping to the 432s and 528s, that the fact that the bones weren't set right in my ankles and my wrists, that I would probably be like on medication, and not able to walk and run and jump and that sort of thing, because the injury was really severe. For some reason, I don't dream anymore, but if I do want, ever I dream will actually happen. Cool. Yeah, and we like to attribute that to deja vu. Time is a river that is never ending, and it runs in a circle. So, we are sometimes dreaming our future, and then we just have to catch up to it. But when you do dream, before your feet hit the floor, write everything down. Everything. As much as you can remember. The colors of clothing that you're wearing, the colors that you see, the different plant lives, Yeah, I hate deja vu as well. Can I get deja vu for when like the Powerball is 300 million? Can I get that and know what it is like a couple days beforehand? Let me get that. That's the kind of deja vu I want. But write down your everything you can. Yeah, I'm gonna bring back going back to free will. That brings up some interesting questions. Yeah. What's the question that it brings back? Because I'm a little lost on that one. But definitely, if you could, I'm scared when I dream. There's nothing to be scared of. You know, have you ever who said that? I know how you can dream. If you, I like how you. Yeah, I love that too. But Wes, don't be afraid of dreaming. There's a book. I've been reading this book since it was first published in 2011, right? And I had to keep that book a secret too, and I ain't say nothing about it for a long time. For like 3 years, I didn't say nothing about it. Only my kids read it with me. But Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. I'm sure you probably have already heard of it, but because it's becoming more and more popular, I think that is going to be one of the definitive books for the conscious community. It may take a few more years for the conscious community to really be able to absorb that book. But what Napoleon Hill wrote in 1938, and this was the follow-up to Think and Grow Rich. This was the original follow-up to Think and Grow Rich. No, because whatever I dream actually comes true. Right, okay, it comes true, but don't be afraid of that truth, you know? Don't be afraid of. There's nothing about that truth that you should be afraid of. And if you can remember that dream, then it can provide you a warning, or it can provide you an opportunity of knowing that something that's good, and how to maneuver your life into making sure that good things happen in your life. So don't be afraid of the dream. You know, I love the fact that my dreams come true, even when it's stuff that I don't like. Like I'm gonna tell you guys. So I've been divorced for 8 years. Right when the papers got signed, I started dating, right? And so the papers got signed, I started dating. I was not focused on my business at all. I mean, I wasn't focused on, I had 3 personal training studios, and I had 2 personal training studios and 1 gym, and I was making money hand over fist. I was hardly ever working. I was only at my gym just because I like being around people. And I was like dating. I did like eHarmony, and I had like 60 connects like in the first 10 days, and they had to shut me down. So I'm dating. I ain't paying attention to business. 12 months later, business is suffering like a big dog. I had a dream that I was in jail. I ignored that dream. 6 months later, my butt was in jail. I was in jail because the day before I had that dream, I recognized that the $1,200 in alimony and the $1,240 in child support, I couldn't pay. I didn't have enough. I wasn't making enough money to pay it. So I was like, well, I'm just going to send a little bit. And those little bits became a little bit and a little bit. Actually, no, not 6 months prior. This was almost a year prior. It became little, it was little bits. But then 6 months prior, I had this dream that I was in jail. Now, of course, I didn't know that they would take you to jail if you, as long as you're paying, I thought you good. But I was making sure I paid all the alimony, but I wasn't paying all the child support, and I'm still paying, her tuition to finish school. So anyhow, long story short, I had the dream that I was going to jail. If I had taken that as a warning and said, hey, go talk to my lawyer. Let me find out, like, this is what I've been doing. Am I doing the right thing? If I had went back and talked to the lawyer and said, what should I be doing? He probably would have told me, half pay the alimony, full pay the child support, because the child support would send you to jail. That'll mess up your business. And I wound up going to jail during that time frame, right when I was moving the location of my primary gym to a new space, so that I had a bigger space, and I was trying to incorporate Zumba and things like that. But I didn't listen. I didn't listen to the dream, and I knew better. But I was so distracted by dating that I wasn't paying attention, and I let it slip by me. Next thing I know, I find myself in jail. I'm in jail with dudes who murdered folks and all this other kind of stuff. And I'm like, why am I in here with murderers and high level drug dealers? I mean, I fell more than $5,000 behind on child support. That's why I'm here, really. So I was pissed, but then I started recognizing. I was in there for 10 days, and about the 3rd day, I started recognizing, like, I did not pay attention to my dreams. I did not pay attention to the warnings that had came before. So don't be afraid of your dreams. Recognize that your dreams may be trying to give you an opportunity to make some changes to maneuver yourself in a better position, you know. Because the smallest thing can make a huge difference in your life. One decision. That's why I call my coaching company is actually called One Act Consulting, right? Even though I use all these other things, it's One Act Consulting because one act makes a difference. I'm going to take up P90X again. Summer is all about setting intentions in the right direction. Exactly. Bruh. Well, you guys are not on my Facebook page. Well, you may be. If you were on my Facebook page, you know that over the last 40 days I've been talking about, I've been hashtagging 90-day I Am program. And a lot of that is me at the gym. And then some motivational things and some other stuff. But that 90-day that getting back in the gym, yeah, I gotta have that. I can't date anyone because everybody is Christian, runs away scared, and I'm saying not really. Oh man, dude, there's a dating group that I belong to. It's like a dating Facebook group, and that is, you know what, you getting me messed up because that's in line on one of that's in my paperwork for videos to do, is to talk about dating and when how conscious people are going to be able to date. Granted, the community is growing. It is growing. More and more people are coming to that state of mind. But you do have your dogmatic religious people. You're not going to be able to date them. Sorry, it's just not going to happen. Dating the dogmatic religious person is not in your purview. And it does shrink your number of people that you have the ability to date. Depending upon what city you're in, there are large communities of people who are waking up consciously who can you will be able to date. And they're not all. When I first there's a dating site called Spiritual Dating, and I tried that one back in 2008, and it was horrific. Yeah, and for some reason all the hot chicks go to church. Nah, man. Now you're right. Spiritual Dating was horrible. The Spiritual Dating website, because them women look like they ain't bathed. They don't use I mean, I say they don't bathe, but they just look, they too au natural, right? They too much of that. And for a while I was like, man, this is not gonna work. Look at all these women. They look like, it was only one lady in Atlanta who was on that site who looked good, and she had about 11 people trying to get at her. So it was just crazy. So it was very difficult. But I have been finding that, and this is one of the things I was talking about on the little dating group site that I'm a part of. I've been finding that more and more people are coming into the realm of consciousness. They may, and even the ones who are Buddhist are easier to date. Even if they're like, good Buddhist woman, she is still more open-minded than the hardcore Jesus woman or the Allah. They are, you may not get through to them. The only other difficulty is their family. The same transition that you're going through, if she's not going through that transition, but you can deal with each other, you got to deal with her family, and that's a whole nother level. I dated one girl, she was cool with me not being Christian, but her family was filled with ministers, and that was a difficult thing for her to deal with. And ultimately, we couldn't date because she let that interfere with us being able to be happy with each other. So a person would have to be sure of self in order for you to be able to deal with them, or them to, for you guys to be able to make it work. Because if there's too much family interference, it's too much for her. Now, if you can guide a woman, if a woman is interested, she may not have to already be where you are, but you can guide her if she shows interest, if she's curious. You could be her guide and then let it grow from there. So she doesn't have to already be there. She doesn't have to already be an indigo child. She doesn't have to already be there, but you can guide her, and y'all can grow together in that. You said you're gay, so that's a completely different ball game. True, but this contact is messing up on. Here in Atlanta, we have a whole area of town that's predominantly gay called Midtown, and in all honesty, I found the people in Midtown are more open to spirituality than Christian. They're not as hardline Christian. And even up here, I'm up in the suburbs of Atlanta, and there are metaphysical churches they are, especially one called Unity North. They are incredibly gay friendly. So I don't see how it's intriguing to me that you're having more of a difficult time and you're a part of that community, because they seem to be more open to it than heterosexual people are. So I'm just curious, what city are you in? Because if you say you're in Atlanta and you're struggling, you might need to just get out more, because you might just be in the house too much. Because in Atlanta, it ain't like that. Oh, you live in Barbados. Oh, you on a small island, not as many people. What I think is heavily Catholic in Barbados. Okay, so you're in Barbados, heavily. Yeah, I think Barbados is very high Catholic community. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, you're gonna have your struggles there, bro. You're gonna have your struggles. And here's the thing about it. Move. I know that just sounds like, how can you just move? But move. If you want to be happy and you can't do it where you at, then move. You're in Houston and it's a waste of time. And how's the you talking? Ryan asking Wes, how's the surfing in Barbados? Oh man, Houston. It's funny because there's a girl I recently discovered her a few months back. Ashura, the Star Goddess. She's in Houston as well. I mean, she's married, so yeah, you can't talk to her. But just by listening to her, what I gather is that the community in Houston is still growing. It's growing in that as well. And especially, dude, you got a lot of people in Houston from New Orleans, and Louisiana after that whole Katrina thing went down. And, because of all the hoodoo and voodoo that's in that down in that area, that's it's kind of common. I would think that if you got into like the groove of those people who has moved to Houston from there, you probably will find more open-minded people in that community. Wow, that looks like a nice place. What looks like a nice place? I don't know. Are you talking about my store? Because this back part look like crap. I don't surf myself. Oh, y'all, you talking to Ryan? But yeah, I would think in Houston you should be able to find you the New Orleans people. I guarantee you that the New Orleans woman is gonna be more. Yeah, I think I done messed up my phone when I dropped it, because I got purple spots getting bigger and bigger all over my phone. Lord. It's your fault, Wes. I'm gonna blame you. How about that? But yeah, just check out the New Orleans people who moved there. I guarantee you'll find more of them who are open to spirituality than maybe some of the hardline Christians. And then just go look. Yeah, it was, man. It was. It's the ledge that it was on. Plus, it was on the tripod. It was probably about 6 feet high. So, yeah. I messed up my phone. Man, just Anthony, shit. Just do like everybody else and just come on, move to Atlanta. Just move to Atlanta. Everybody else moved here, so just come on to Atlanta. You'll find a bunch. It's a growing community here. Actually, I'm starting a Hermetic Alchemist group here in Atlanta, a meetup group. I'll be starting that. Sweet. Tomorrow, I'm going to meet with this young lady about a possible location, to which I forgot to send her the confirmation for today to make sure that we're meeting tomorrow. I'm gonna send it to her tonight, though. I don't care how late it is. But yeah, come on. I'm starting an alchemical, Hermetic Alchemist group. What is Hermetic Alchemy? Okay. Yeah, it is. Let's see. It's really two thoughts. Okay, so alchemy, as I was saying earlier in this video, alchemy is the idea of turning from something from lead to gold. It's a metaphysical thought process of, now it's not the literal turning lead from gold, although that is the alchemist's practice. The physical practice of alchemy is to smelt metals and get rid of all the impurities within the metal so that you get a pure state. Alchemy is about doing that same thing to your mind, body, and spirit. is to your thoughts going from lead to gold and rising. And I was talking earlier about how can you be a conscious person and be racist, because they don't go together. Alchemy would be, the more conscious you become, the less racist you become, until you get to that state of gold where there is no racism in your thought and you see people as the divine spirits that they are. And you see the world in its full divinity of energy and all other aspects. That would be alchemy. That is the physical practice. Hermetics are you might have heard of natural law. Hermetics are the 7 natural laws. There's the law of mentalism called law of mentalism, the law of correspondence, which is, may have heard the term as above, so below. Everything done in heaven is done. Yeah, Mark Pacio. I never know how to say that man's name. Yeah, he talks about that extensively. So if you understand what he's talking about, that's natural. The natural laws are Hermetic. Those Hermetic laws come from Hermes Trismegistus, who was Thoth, who wrote the Emerald Tablets, the Kabbalion from the 3 initiates. That's the Hermetic laws. Now, Mark adds a 8th law, which he calls the law of care, saying that none of those laws matter if people don't care for one another. And we have to care about what we're doing. Which he's really saying is that we have to emotionalize those laws in order for them to work. You see, the law of cause and effect, if you are going out and being a causal factor to change your life, let's say you're going to the gym. Gym is a perfect one. Tons of people go to the gym. And as you see, there are people who are in there and they're doing cardio all the time. They're on the bikes or they're in the classes, and they lose a little bit of weight. They may go from lead to copper, or go from really fat to just fat. But the most in shape people are doing they lifting weights. They tossing dumbbells, lifting barbells, squatting. They getting down on it. They in there sweating. You hear them clanking. They ain't at Planet Fitness. They getting it done. If you don't emotionalize the cause and effect of the activities that you're doing when you're going to the gym by saying that I'm in here, I'm going to get the best out of this. I got to go from just doing an hour on a treadmill and leaving to doing 20 minutes on the treadmill. Now I'm down here. I'm doing chest. I'm doing 4 exercises on my chest. I'm doing 4 exercises on my bicep. And I'm going to do a pyramid stack style workout so that I'm doing I do 12 reps at this weight, 10 reps at a heavier weight, 8 reps at a heavier weight. And then, 6 reps at an even heavier weight. I'm going to do a pyramid stack workouts like that. 4 exercises on my chest, 4 exercises on my bicep. And I'm going to do some plyometrics in between each set, because I'm going to superset those 2. And then do jumping jacks and mountain climbers and all that kind of stuff in between. If you cooking, I get it. You get fat, because trust me, making all this popcorn and ice cream will get you there too. But that's a person who is taking the law of cause and effect, emotionalizing it to the point where it is now becoming an alchemical event for them. That's what Hermetic alchemy is about. And what Mark Pacio is talking about, the law of care, which is putting that emotional energy into the Hermetics, which is really just making it alchemy. All right, so that's the idea of that. Got me revved up for that one, buddy. Because I got to explain that tomorrow when I go meet with these people about the space that I want to rent in order to have my meetup groups come there. And we do things for Hermetic alchemy, meditations, lessons. We're not going to smelt metals because that would take too long to get the heat. You got to have a furnace to smelt the metals and things like that. So, but we'll, get involved in that. But what time is it? It is 10:45, guys. I would love to stay here and keep talking to y'all. I want to hear your thoughts one day on the meaning of words. Man, you want to talk about casting spells? That's basically what you want to talk about, is casting spells. That's why they say, the power's in the tongue, the words that you speak things into existence, because you're casting spells. I mean, that's the simplest thing. And that's why words are so important. Right, your spelling, exactly. But the reason why words are so important, and the meaning of words is even more important, because you're saying a word, but if you don't know what that word means, then you're casting a spell for something that you may or may not want in your life, right? That is why I sometimes mess it up, but most of the time I always tell my, I don't ever mess it up with my kids, but I can mess it up with other people. But I would tell them I love you to life, because I don't ever want to love my kids into death, because death is the cessation of all living things, right? Can you give us a history on gay people or something like that? Okay. I don't you got to be more detailed in that one. But I tell my kids I love them to life, because life doesn't end for them unless the energy of their consciousness cease to exist. They go from one life to the next life to the next life. So I love them to life, to life, to life, to life, for their continued growth in life. To death would be for your consciousness to start to dwindle until it's nothingness, or it's been so dispersed that there is no existence of your consciousness. So then you cease to completely exist in the framework of a wholeness, of a cohesion. So I do my best to say I love you to life. When I'm talking about the Creator, a young lady called me on this because I purposely, in one of my videos, because I was talking about Christianity when I was growing up in it, and I kept calling God Him, to emphasize that in Christianity they're emphasizing the male energy and not the combination of the male and the female energy, by always referring to God in the framework of a dude, right? Now, when I talk about God, I just say the Creator, or it, or the energy of the Creator, because it is both male and female joined together. There is no separation. We all have male and female energy. So I just say it differently, because you have to be careful of the words that you speak and what they mean. If you came to my middle daughter and you tell her that she is, you call her a demon, she will say thank you. She will say thank you. I appreciate. Thank you for the compliment. Because a demon comes from the word daemon. Daemon is an angelic being that is smarter than the other angels. It is a very intelligent angelic being. But the word has been just all messed up. And so when people are saying that, oh, I'm being attacked by a demon, that means you're being attacked by a spirit that's smarter, more intelligent, more powerful than the other angelic beings that you're saying, please help me, Gabriel, Michael, and help me, because this demon is attacking me. They're like, well, damn, why you got a demon attacking you? The demon got more power and more intelligent. We just kind of drones. We got our one mission. That's all we do, is our one thing. You dealing with something that's, and then you made it evil. So, Jordan Maxwell, yep, he's a good guy when it comes to words as well. He's very good with that, especially from a more scientific standpoint. Now, there's a lady that I just met. I will start doing classes for her organization probably in about a month or so. Yeah, I am going to do it again. But she is very big on etymology, and we had a long discussion about etymology of words. But yeah, be very mindful the words that you speak, because those words, they have power, but you got to know what they meant. Like, don't tell nobody, but every time they talking about Jesus, they praying to Zeus. Because Jesus, before there was a J, in the 1600s was when the J came out. The name, if you find an original King James, it says Ius. Ius came from Isus, which meant Zeus. So they praying to Zeus. They give him power. And if you're watching this show, American Gods, I love that show. I'm going to do a whole video series on that one. You're praying to Zeus. You're giving your energy to Zeus, right? So, but they say, oh, no, it's Jesus. The name Yeshua translate in English to Joseph. Is it Joseph or Joshua? To Joshua. So it's like, nah, dude. Yeah, American Gods has already done this whole season. It's 8 shows. It was on Stars. I binged out and watched all 8 of them in like 2 days. But I like to watch TV on my time. I can't be on their time. But yeah, dude, check that out. Yeah, the words, they mean so much. So when people are saying, oh, Jesus, you praying to Zeus. And even when they say, they need to know the entity that they are creating when they say, Yeshua. The show American Gods did a really smooth thing that they said there's Mexican Jesus, there's Black Jesus, there's Hindu Jesus, there's Orthodox Jew Jesus, there's like 50, 11 different Jesuses. because everybody creates their own version of Jesus, so it created an image, a being, based on everybody's different creation, and based on what your creation is, they had different power. Because white Jesus killed Mexican Jesus, in the show, and I ain't gonna tell you how. I mean, I did a video, so I kind of already told you how. I did a video yesterday on that one, but yeah, white Jesus killed Jewish Jesus. I mean, Mexican Jesus, because Mexican Jesus all nice, and white Jesus made a deal with Vulcan and shoot people. So you be very mindful when you speak. Understand what the words mean for you. Like, if somebody tell me that I'm awful, I was like, thank you. I know I am full of awe. When you look at me, you should be full of awe, because I am all full. I am full of awe all the time. So yeah, there's things like that. They say it all goes back to Egypt. I need to watch the series. Yep. Be there. See, this little thing is messed up. I got purple blotch marks. Man, I'm going to have to go and fix my phone tomorrow. Ugh. Wes, it's your fault. Now, don't get so stuck on everything going to Egypt. All right? You got Samaria as well. So don't shortchange Sumeria. Not Samaria, who came after the Babylonians. Sumeria. Don't shortchange Sumeria with the Anunnakis and all. I know, right? And all that kind of stuff. That's why I said, damn it, Wes. Broke my phone. Yeah, I haven't figured out how the two. Well, both of them came up around the same time. And when you understand the Sumerian story, then you will understand how Egypt and Samaria fit. Because really what you have, the short version is Enlil was doing, exactly, Enlil was doing his thing up in Mesopotamia, the Sumerian area. And then Enki was doing his thing in South Africa and the Egypt area. And then as their sons grew and all that kind of stuff, Marduk took over Egypt and all that. And Thoth was doing his thing in Egypt and building stuff. And then, through some battles and wars, Marduk took over areas of Mesopotamia, like where the Tower of Babel was given to Marduk. And Sodom and Gomorrah was owned by Marduk because they was fighting Enlil. And, it's a whole bunch of stuff like that of why they were so connected, because, the two major families of the Anunnaki, the two major top brothers, were always fighting. And those were the areas that they were fighting in. The reason why you don't have India and all these other places, because Ishtar, Inanna was not, she was kind of way over there doing her thing. So that's why those two civilizations grew. And because there was gold, there was a lot of gold in that area, so they need that gold. And there was also major communication. With Egypt and Samaria, there are two major ley lines that come in right there, which provided amazing communications around the world and through space for Enki and Enlil. So that's where the communication was. So that's why you have a lot of information that was going on right there, because that's where the information was being received, right? So I just threw a whole bunch into a small little sentence idea there, and that's why you got so much going on in that area and why those grew. But once Marduk started tripping, that's when Thoth went over and got down with the Aztecs and the Incas, and also built Stonehenge and built the pyramids over there and built pyramids in other places, because it was all about communicating. Because they wanted to make sure that Marduk and Enlil didn't have all the communication, be able to do all the communication. They want to make sure they can communicate as well with each other and with other Anunnakis in other places. So it's a whole lot. Zechariah, even though people try to shoot Zechariah Ascension down, his work is still one of the most definitive works. And then there are tons of other people who wrote the exact same thing that Zechariah Ascension wrote, but also John Anthony West. He's like the best Egyptologist in my opinion, because if it just because other people said it, he don't stick with it. Yeah. So Serpent on the Rainbow, the Lost Book of Enki, all that kind of stuff is good. It's good stuff to read. It's a lot to read. I'm a YouTubeaholic. While I'm working throughout the day, I'm listening to like YouTube videos. So I might listen to about 6 hours of YouTube videos a day. And then I'm listening to varying videos, and I'm listening to videos over and over and over and over and over again. And the way my brain works, I can put You know, you see like the CSI when they have all the stuff on the wall. I can see all the stuff on this wall, and I can see all the stuff on another wall. Then I can go home and see a whole bunch of stuff on another wall, and then go to somebody else's house, see a bunch of stuff on those walls. But it all comes together for me. I can see all the connections from all the different walls. So that's where y'all can feel people's aura. I can connect things pretty easily. So, well, I can find the connection, which means that I probably should have followed my first passion, which was to be an anthropologist when I was a kid, but I didn't. I've been listening to. Yeah, you said something about Ralph Ellis. I haven't checked him out yet. I'll check him out probably tomorrow. I'll listen to some of him while I'm working because we got a lot of product to make tomorrow, so I'll be doing that. But for real, y'all trying to trick me into this conversation continuing. But I am dating a young lady and she's at my house, so I got to go. I got to go see what she's doing. This time of night, she probably asleep. I'm pretty sure she'll probably be asleep by the time I get there. But she tries to wake up. Man, y'all just not. Damn it, Wes. You got my phone. All kind of jack. Alright, I appreciate it, guys. Y'all have a good evening. This was cool. And we will do it again very soon. I'm kind of mad, though. I ain't get a whole bunch of customers coming in, interrupting this. Because bro trying to build an empire over here. Alright. So y'all have a good one. Talk to you later. I messed up my phone. It won't even stop. Man, just a simple life. I'm good. You so late.